Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your weekday newscast that brings you five major stories from the world of business. It's Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. This is Nelson John. Let's get started. The US-China trade battle just crossed a red line. On Tuesday, the White House confirmed that a 104% additional tariff on Chinese imports officially went into effect, with collections starting April 9th. The move, announced by the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt and reported by Fox Business, follows President Donald Trump's warning that he was waiting for China's call. But Beijing didn't blink. Instead, China vowed to fight to the end, calling the latest tariff threat blackmail. The decision comes days after Trump imposed a 10% tariff on nearly all imports into the US, and it's just the beginning. More targeted duties, some as high as 50% on other trading partners, are expected to kick in starting Wednesday. Markets oddly bounced back. After a global sell-off that wiped trillions off the board last week, US stocks recovered slightly on hopes that the chaos might spark a negotiation momentum. But signs of a breakthrough with China remain slim. Still, Trump struck a hopeful tone online, quote-unquote, China wants to make a deal badly, but they do not know how to get it started. We're waiting for their call. For now, though, the call hasn't come and the tariff war has officially escalated. Apple's emergency SOS partner, Globalstar, has taken its first step towards entering India. The US-based satellite firm has filed an application with India's space regulator, InSpace, to offer its satellite-based connectivity for iPhone users, allowing them to send texts and share locations when they're off the grid. But it's just the beginning. Globalstar will also need GMPCS license from India's telecom department to operate its satellite gateways and secure spectrum. The company, which powers Apple's SOS feature globally, currently uses 85% of its network capacity for iPhone users. Globalstar intends to offer emergency communication services in India by setting up a wholly owned subsidiary. The company told TRAI last year. India's satellite broadband race is heating up, with players like Jio, OneWeb, Starlink, and Amazon's Kuiper all jostling for space. KPMG estimates the market will jump from $2.3 billion to $20 billion by 2028. Still, Globalstar's 31 satellite fleet is dwarfed by Starlink's 7,000 plus. Analysts say the niche SOS market and Apple's limited market share in India could be hurdles. But one thing is clear, satellite internet is no longer just a future trend. It's becoming a high-stakes race in India's digital sky. India's homegrown audio and wearables brand BoAt is setting sail for the stock market again. Imagine Marketing Ltd, the parent company of BoAt, has confidentially filed papers to raise 2,000 crore rupees via an initial public offering, according to a report by CNBC. The filing comes under SEBI's revised rules, which allows companies to submit their IPO documents without immediate public disclosure. However, in line with norms, BoAt has published an official notice in a national daily confirming its intent to go public. This marks BoAt's second IPO attempt, the first back in 2022, which was shelved due to volatile market conditions. Since then, the company has raised $60 million in private funding to fuel its growth. According to sources, the IPO will comprise a fresh issue of 900 crore rupees and an offer for sale worth 1,100 crore rupees by existing shareholders. The funds raised will be used to repay debt, boost R&D, improve product quality, and support their business expansion. BoAt has roped in ICICI Securities, Goldman Sachs, and Nomura as lead managers for the issue. From being a millennial favorite in affordable audio gear to taking on global giants, BoAt's IPO could be one of the buzziest listings in the lifestyle tech space this year. India is gearing up to launch itself into the big league of global shipbuilding, teaming up with giants from South Korea and Japan to make it happen. State-run Cochin Shipyard is in advanced talks with Hyundai Heavy Industries to set up a new facility in Kochi, while Mitsui of Japan and Hanwha of Korea are exploring partnerships across the country. "We're close to signing a deal," Cochin Shipyard Chairman Madhu S. Nair confirmed, adding the new facility could roll out large vessels in double digits every year. The government is offering land near Cochin Port Trust for the project, which will produce cargo ships, tankers, and multi-purpose vessels, though not VLCCs yet. Similar partnerships are being considered for Gujarat's Kandla port and other maritime hubs. India currently holds less than 1% of the global shipbuilding market. But under the Maritime Vision 2047 plan, the goal is to make India a top 5 shipbuilding and ship-owning nation. Backed by a 25,000 crore rupee maritime development fund and fresh incentives, the government aims to shift shipbuilding from China, Japan and Korea to Indian shores. If the joint ventures take off, India could soon be charting a course to maritime dominance. Apollo Hospitals is making a bold bet in India's changing health landscape. Faced with a sharp rise in non-communicable diseases, NCDs like cancer, diabetes and heart conditions, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise will invest 6,000 crore rupees over the next 5 years to add 3,500 beds across key urban centers. We are focused on expanding centers of excellence in oncology, cardiology, neurosciences and more, said Sangeeta Reddy, Joint MD at Apollo, speaking to Mint. The expansion will unfold in 2 phases. 2,880 crore rupees by FY26 to add 1,737 beds in cities like Pune and Gurgaon, followed by 3,220 crore rupees for 1,775 more beds in places like Chennai and Mumbai. Tier 2 cities are also on the radar. The urgency is clear. Apollo's New Health of the Nation report reveals a worrying trend. Millions of Indians are living with silent, undiagnosed chronic conditions. Of 2.5 million people screened, 27% had multiple NCD risk factors. Even among asymptomatic individuals, 65% showed signs of fatty liver, 26% had undiagnosed hypertension, and 23% were newly identified with diabetes. Apollo is now pushing for nationwide screening and preventive care, especially in schools. The message: India's next health battle is already here, and we need to act early. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We are eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest in business news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a wonderful Wednesday.